So today is a new look, slightly different now that it's warming up with summer. I thought I would give you this simple look with really nice berry lips, so let's just get right to it.
Hey guys, so first up I prime my face. This time I'm going to use the Barry M primer and I'm using the colour green. I like to use it when my skin's slightly red, so that balances it out. And then what I do for a little bit of added green effect, I go ahead and use the LA Girl Pro Conceal in green. I use this just to get rid of any redness that I have when I have a breakout, and then what I do is I go and correct the hyperpigmentation with the orange concealer. Once I'm happy with everything, I blend it out with my finger. I don't use a beauty blender just because I find that it tends to come out just as good with your finger. And then what I do is I go ahead and start on my foundation. This time I'm using the Body Shop Fresh Nude Foundation and I am in the shade Almond. A really nice lady at the Body Shop actually colour matched me because I tend to use the back of my hand to colour match, and for some people like me, my hand is actually darker than my face, so I tend to end up with a shade darker than my actual face skin tone. So this one's actually a perfect match for me and it smells really good as a foundation. I don't know if you've tried it, but do give it a try. It also, you can pick up these kind of colour changes where you can either lighten it or darken it, which sounds really good, so I'm going to give that a go at some point. I'm actually then warming up the colour slightly for the summer with NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Liquid Foundation, and I'm using the shade Nutmeg. It's about a half shade darker than my skin tone, but I've noticed that it mattifies my skin throughout the day and it looks really good on. Then I go ahead and move on to my brows, and if you saw my previous video you'd know that I love these, and I usually use the one by Sleek, but this time I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and I'm using the shade Expresso. It's really good, the micro version, just because you get a lot better precision with it, and I've just found that it comes out a lot better and I find it a lot easier to manage, although it does mean that you take a little bit longer on your brows. I do my brows exactly the same. I brush the actual hairs up, I line my brows underneath, and then I go ahead and fill them in all the way to the tip, and then I brush the hairs downwards and I line the top of them, and then what I'll do is I'll tidy up the other brow as well. Once I'm happy with them, I will just set the brows. I think I found that it takes me a little bit longer with the micro brow pencil just because it is thinner, but I found that it comes out really well. I don't know whether or not you think that my brows look better in this video. Please do let me know in the comments below, as I'll find that really helpful. To set my brows I use the same as before, and that is my Sleek Brow Perfector, and I use clear. I've had it for ages now, it just doesn't seem to actually finish, so I'm really happy with this purchase and I really like it. When I've moved on from my brows and I'm happy with them, I actually have been using this, which is the Makeup Academy Pro Base Eye Primer, just to try on. I've never used primer before. I am testing it this month to see how my eye makeup comes out, so I've realised a little goes a long way, so I just dab on a tiny bit and then I blend it out with my finger on both of my eyes before moving on to my eyeshadow. And for my eyeshadow I'm using my go-to palette when I'm going out and I need to be quite quick at doing my eye makeup, so I'm using the Makeup Revolution Redemption palette, and this is the Iconic 3 palette. I really like this palette just because it's got a good selection of shades. It has a selection of both matte and shimmer colours, and the colours are really pigmented, especially on my skin tone. I haven't tried it on anyone else's to know how it comes up on theirs, but I found for me this one comes up really well. I'm showing you in the video which colours I'm using as my transition colour and as my darker shades, and then where I'm blending it on each eye. What I tend to find is that because you've got a selection of matte and shimmer eyeshadows, they do come up really well, and I do pretty much use this every day when I'm in a rush and just doing kind of my everyday chores. So I do like this palette. Before I forget, guys, over my shoulder on the left hand side I've got the best new essential oil diffuser, and it's by Organic Aromas, so please do check out my blog. I've got a blog going up this weekend and it will tell you all about it and the details where to get it, but it is literally the best one I've ever had, and you don't even need to use water with it. It just uses the pure essential oils. Anyway, check that out this weekend. I'm really liking at the moment this NYX Own the Night eyeshadow shade. I pretty much bought it because I love the name first, and then the colour happened to be a really nice dark shade that matched this palette, so I'm using that on the outer corner of my eye and just dragging it into the end of where I will line my eyes with the eyeliner, just to give my eyes that added depth. And so I really like this. I drag it slightly underneath my eyes as well, and then what I do is I add on some shimmer. I found the first time that I done it, I didn't quite feel that it popped enough, so I added the inner corner light shade, and then I realized when I blended it that if I mix the two together it would come out really well. So what I then done was I went over it by mixing the two shades that I've just shown you and just blending it a bit more on the inner part of my eyes just to make them pop a bit, and then I blended it out with a clean fluffy brush just to make sure that it's nice and balanced. Once I'm happy with my eyes, I move on to my under eye concealer, and this time I'm using NYX Dark Circle Concealer and I'm using the shade Medium. If you watch my previous video, then you'll know that I tend not to blend it out until after I have fully completed my eye makeup, so I'm just going in with some waterproof eyeliner, and I'm using Rimmel London's pencil in black just to tightline my waterline. And how I do it is slightly weird, I know it might look that way, because what I tend to do is line it, and then just to give it real precision and depth, I tend to shut my eye around the sharp pencil just to line it much better. I don't know if you've ever tried it this way, but you need to have a really sharp pencil in order to do it, and so I wouldn't recommend it with a blunt one, just because then the pencil part will actually scratch your eye. Once I'm happy with that, I then go over my eyeliner with this Makeup Revolution London Awesome Double Flick Liquid Liner in the shade black. I like the fact that it has two brushes either end. One of them is really thin, so I use that one to go over to outline my eyes, and then the other one is really thick, so you can use that one once you're happy with your flick and you want to finish it off. So at the moment I'm just using my thin one. I realize a lot of people tend to do their eyeliner off camera. I don't actually find that I have that much difficulty, although I have realized recently that I do have a bit of a hooded eye, well, quite a heavy hood, so that's why I tend to do mine a lot further out, just following kind of the top line of my eye. And then what I'll do is I'll blend in my concealer once I'm happy with the flick that I've created for for my eyes. I've done a really basic one this time just because the look is pretty much going to have a bold lip. And then I go into my contour. I picked up this new palette and it's by NYX. I really love it. It's a highlight and Contor PRO palette, and you can pick up NYX now at Boots. So at the moment I have been going crazy. Pretty much every time I enter Boots I come out with a NYX product, so that's why I've got a lot of them that I've been using at the minute. And I'm using this one completely to highlight and contour my face today, so you can see how it comes out. And if you like it, please do let me know in the comments below, because my last one I did not use it to highlight and contour. I used Sleek, and so it's really good to compare. So I'm using all of the shades on my face pretty much. I think the only one that I didn't use is the second one, just because I tend to like a yellow shade rather than a salmon shade under my eyes. And so at the moment I'm just contouring my nose, and then what I'll do is I'll go on to the rest of my face. Once I'm happy with my contour, I then go in with my blush, and I'm using this Emite Makeup Artist Color Powder blush, and it's in the shade 108. And then I go in and do my mascara, and I'm really liking this Maybelline New Yolk Big Eyes Volume Express mascara. I like it because it's got two brushes. One's for your top lashes and one's for your bottom lashes, and the one for your bottom lashes is tiny and it really catches all of your lashes and it's really cute. So I start off with my top lashes first, and I'm using the big brush for that, and it does actually indicate which one's upper and lower lashes as well, which is really useful. I do like to really cover my lashes with mascara just because I don't tend to use falsies. I like my own lashes, so to make sure they really stand out, I cover them in a lot of mascara. And then what I'll do is I'll cover the bottom lashes in about the same amount of mascara. So that's a tiny brush, and it's really good for precision as well. And what I found is it tends not to get mascara on my face either, which is really helpful because I tend to do that a lot. I then continue to use my Makeup Academy Lash Boom mascara to go over them, just because I found that I just absolutely adore this mascara. It makes my eyes come to life. It's just the best mascara, the best brush. And then I set my face, and I'm using to set my face today the Natural Collection Loose Powder in Neutral Translucent. Once I'm happy with that, I go onto my lips, and I'm using the Sleek Waterproof and Smudge Proof lip liner, and that one's in the shade Raisin. And then I will fill it in, and the berry colour is Maybelline New Yolk Vivid Matte Liquid, and that's in the shade Berry Boost. I actually have picked up 4 shades now. If you go ahead and check out my Instagram, you'll see that I've got 4 shades and I love all 4 of them. So I've got a dark purple, I've got this shade, and I've got kind of a nudie pink, and I'm loving all of them. And they do dry really matte. They tend not to dry out my lips either, so I really like this collection and it's really good. They've got more than just those 4 shades, but I think these ones suit my skin tone and I like them a lot. So let me know in the comments below if you've tried them at all, but I'm really liking this one. I think it's a really good summer colour. And that is the finished look, guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I love you all. See you on the next video.